Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel and welcome to day 45 of the 100-day project. Now this is going to be quick and easy, so easy that, I almost feel guilty even making the video. But if you are like me, you maybe bought a package of these gold seals at your local thrift shop. And I threw away the packaging, so I don't remember how many there are in a package, but I thought they had possibilities because they're made of paper. That seems to be the very low bar that things have to reach these days. Anyway, yes, there's a possibility to use them, but I didn't like their very shiny, brassy look. So, using that miracle product we call gesso, I took the whole package and just basically, I'd had this gesso in just a small jar, and it thickens over time. So basically what I did was I added some water and thinned it down just to make it a little easier to work with, and then I actually transferred the remainder into an even smaller jar so that wouldn't become an issue in the future. Now you can see that I have a lot here. I basically used my bristle brush. I mean, you've seen this over and over again. I like it for a lot of purposes, especially acrylic paint. And because there's a stiffness to it, it's ideal for dry brushing. So basically I just dipped the very tips of the bristles in, made a couple of strokes, and you can see that they're not identical, they're not perfectly covered. All I wanted to do was knock back the brassiness of that color and give the sticker some tooth in the process. So then after these dried, and of course gesso dries quickly, but I did this a few days ago, so they are clearly very, very dry. So then what I thought I would do is stamp them. And I used a variety of stamps. Now the dimensions, okay, from tip to tip, it's 1 7/8. Now, I don't particularly like the pointy part, but I thought, okay, well, I have punches, so I can use that punches to get around that. So these are basically the ones I did, and I'll kind of show you in a bit more detail in a minute. The challenge, of course, is to find something that is, something that you like, for one thing, and also small enough that it kind of is reasonable on something that's, less than 2 inches in diameter. So originally, and I think I showed this in one of the, in that Temu, product thing-majig that I did. So I think this is the one I used. And again, I like colors, so I used a variety of colors. Now, of course, a stamp this size is clearly not big enough to cover it. So I ended up having to go in with something else. So I think, it's obviously a matter of taste. I think that getting a stamp, this pansy that I just did before turning on the camera, is obviously going to be easier because, one stamp and you're done. But, again, it depends. Like even on this one, which is like sort of frayed fabric or whatever, So that one is that one. And I also used this one. But the shape of this is such that it doesn't quite cover the whole sticker. So I ended up having to go in, you know, just to sort of get to the edges. Using a much bigger stamp. Oh, does this belong to this one? I don't know. Let me just put this aside, not waste your time doing it. Using a much bigger stamp, like this library card here, means that you can pick, you can pick whatever part of the stamp you want, and you're going to get it all in one shot. So I guess those are just a few tips that I would have to offer if you are going to try this project yourself. I wanted to use the books also. So where are they? Oh, right here, the bigger bunch. But you can see it doesn't work that well because blank spot there, over stamping over here. Now there is a smaller stack on here, so I used that, but then I thought, well, that's kind of too little, so I used some text and another little one. So this too is bigger, and the stamp was square. I did a few of those because I like them. This is just I was going to say squirrely. This is a swirly thing. Not very big, but you can see pretty well covers the whole thing. This is that other fabric, frayed fabric one. This is a text one. Library card, that. This one, I had, I did two stamps on there. This one, again, a smaller stamp, and then I sort of did kind of ghostly things on the side. That's the same as that. That one is that one. This is kind of a postal cancellation thing. It was the biggest one in this set, but you can tell by the shape of it that there was going to be obviously some areas missed. So I would say that if I was going to carry on, and of course I will because I've prepped all those stickers, that I would go for bigger ones. Like, for instance, I would use this poppy. And that's also where that pansy came from. I would use something like this that has a variety of text and numbers on it and is clearly going to, cover the sticker totally. So, there are ways to make this easier and more, well, whatever you envision it to be, I guess is what I should say, because of course I don't know what your intentions would be. So, okay, let me make a little room here and show you what I did next. So then I thought, well, okay, let's see if I have the right size punches and how well this works. So this is a 1.5 inch, and for some reason, and I don't know, so obviously these are stickers. This is the size each section was. Oh, you know what? That's crooked. I bet you I cut that. In hindsight, they were probably maybe 6 to a sheet. So probably the better thing to do, and I know I have another package somewhere, I just can't find it at the moment. It might be better to keep the sticker sheet intact so that there's more to grip onto when sticking it into a punch, because as you know, you kind of need that access in order to get, to kind of get good centering or be able to pick the area that you want. Now, I know that if I want to get rid of those little pointy edges, I pretty well need to do this, like so. Now, doesn't, oh, and this was what I started to say. For some reason, that wasn't bad. Most of them I've had to poke out with my little pokey thing, and then of course pull out this part. There are some others that I did earlier. I also used, first I tried my larger tag punch, so that was this one. And I don't know if you can tell, but there you can see the edge. And there you can see the edge. So that one was too big. I do have a smaller one, and that is this one. So I guess I used the smaller one on this. Now, again, that's all right, because chances are a person is going to add a little more to it. And this too could be salvaged by just either some creative collaging or a little bit of trimming. Now, I didn't try, well, it seems fairly adhesive. Again, a lot of these things, I think most of us don't trust the glue. So if you're going to end up gluing it down anyway, it might be simpler just to leave it on its backing. Like, I don't know what I'll do when the time comes, but I'm just saying that that's an option. So maybe let's punch out a few more. Yeah, a 2-inch punch is going to be too big. I don't know if there's an 1 3/4. If there is, I certainly don't have it. Oh, you know what else I wanted to do? Maybe I should try on this one. Is just for people who don't have punches. Boy, these, I don't know how people can really craft with long sleeves. I find it very annoying. The other thing I thought is that if a person doesn't have punches, could easily, and maybe with better light than I have at this moment. I really didn't turn on any additional lighting. How's that? Well, I don't know. I guess it's easier for me to see now, but it may be creating shadows. So basically what I'm trying to do here is just cut along where those little triangles, those little teeth, meet the circle. It may not be perfect, but, and again, it could be that you really love the look of those, that seal type look. Or maybe you'd be stamping yours with a sentiment of some sort that really seems to make, that would really go with that seal. Whoops, everything's falling. That really goes with that seal shape. Can't find it. And that makes total sense. But let's maybe just, out of, to satisfy my curiosity, see what a few more of these look like. So, if you intend to try this, either with gold seals like this or something similar that you may have, that you're thinking, oh, I don't really love that color, then by all means, my advice would be do a mass make, do a bunch of them, because to my way of thinking, if I'm going to, pull out the gesso, dirty a brush, I want to sort of get my money's worth out of it. So, excuse me, I would do a whole bunch. So I gessoed all of them, and then I stamped a bunch just to see how that was going to work. Oh, I also have a square stamp, but unfortunately it is too big. I mean, obviously there'd be nothing stopping a person from, just squaring this off with a ruler and, a knife or whatever. This one has a bit of blank spots, so again, this could be, this one might be finished quite nicely by adding a postage stamp to it. Kind of would be related to the postal theme. And I also like the fact that there is, and I hope that's visible on camera, that really classy look about gold and champagne. So the gesso over that brassy gold, or that brassy brass, kind of gives it a really nice, I don't know, just kind of classy. Champagne and gold. Champagne, or, ivory, off-white, whatever you want to call it. Oops. Yeah, and learn from my little experiment. Keep your stickers on a bigger thing if possible. Now I know, excuse me, that is not, second video of the day and I'm croaky. That is not a total guarantee that you won't have to trim it, because as you know, you need to be able to get close enough to where you want to be in order to make the cut also. So what I'm going to do is continue, oh, for heaven's sake. What I'm going to do is continue to, cut these out. Maybe I'll show you a couple of different ones just for the heck of it. You don't need to see the same thing over and over again. Going to continue stamping, punching, and having them ready. Now I do have some tags here that I've been trying to finish off. They've been kicking around for days now. So, something like this would look good on here. Maybe this one with orange would look good on here. But again, that one of these things by themselves does not a tag make. So I didn't really plan on doing the decorating. I'm just saying that once these things are done, there will be no shortage of ways that a person could use them. Oh, and I should mention that this is about a quarter of an inch, or a little more than a quarter of an inch thick. This is some spongy type padding that came, that was protecting a product that I got, and I used that to do my pansy, and it came out well. So now it's just a matter of keeping this thing handy and remembering to use it. And I've said it before, that's assuming that getting a nice sharp image is one's goal. I don't think it always is, to be honest. this was, boy, you know, some of those little things are standing up just enough to interfere with me getting this in here. This kind of, I don't want to say mindless, but these sort of no-brainer type tasks, repetitive, you know, you don't need concentration, you're not counting, you're not measuring. These are excellent to do while watching the NHL playoffs, you know, Netflix, YouTube videos, whatever. When you're basically just listening, glancing up occasionally, cheering for your team, and so on. Yeah, I really like this one. And I mean, it's so simple. And of course, you know, a person wouldn't use these, excuse me, these things in isolation. You know, it would just be part of a little mini collage. You know, maybe a label of some sort, maybe a focal point, you know, again, depending how much other space you have. Oh, see? Can you see that some of this debris is starting to collect here? And I think that's because obviously it's a sticky back. So, you know, if something comes off and some of that adhesive is exposed, then it will stick to whatever it touches. I guess the good thing about this is that there's enough thickness that it's, and I should, you know, touch wood, it's cutting cleanly. You know, sometimes if paper is too thin, these things like to misbehave. They like to test the patience and the will of the crafter. So, I mean, how are we doing for time? I can't see. Oh, I think I'm going to stop here because you know how to brush gesso on. You know how to stamp. Oh, you know one thing I did want to try? But I have to find my stamp for that block that. Anyway, I can get another one, I guess. What I wanted to try, I think that was an online auction. I got I got many stamp pads, and these are Recollections brand. There's a third one that was opened and used and is kind of, I don't know if it leaked or whatever. I'll be darned if I can find it. It's been kicking around here for the longest time, and finally I decided to put it away, and now I don't know where it is. But why don't I break the seal on one of these? Okay, vintage black and vintage gold. Okay, well, the gold is obviously not going to show up in this, so let's try the black. Now it says works on fabric, wood, paper, clay, leather, and more. Now it would be nice if that block was within reach, or at least within sight, but I don't see it, so I guess I need to reach for another one. I like that one though because it's got that little handle. Okay, so let's pick one of these. Oh, see, those little teeth are sticking up. Okay, what did I say I wanted to try? Oh, but that doesn't need to be mounted. Let's try this one. and see what we get. And I'm not going to be overly careful inking this up because we know that most of only the center of the design is actually going to fit on the seal. Oh, where did I put that pad already? There it is. Hiding it from myself. We did our income tax today. I mean, we went to the accountant and, they'll file it electronically. And tomorrow, I guess I'll go to the bank and pay what we owe. Better to do it ahead of time than run the risk of penalties or late fees or interest, or even though right at the moment it's day 8 of the public union strike. That looks like it might need, yeah, that's shiny. It looks like it's going to need some drying time, so I won't touch that. But let's do a second one. In fact, I probably could have gotten a second stamping out of that. And this is just some scrap paper that I had on my desk, sort of protecting the surface. I cleaned it kind of thoroughly one day, and I thought, oh, let's see if we can make this last a little longer than 15 minutes. So I was using that paper. But it's always a good idea to have paper, and it doesn't have to be, newsprint. It can be coffee dyed paper. It can be, the back of one-sided scrapbooking paper. It could be ledger. It could be just about anything your little heart desires. That is not very clear, but I think I was maybe overzealous in my rubbing. Let's do another one. And I suppose let's go a little further down, and maybe let's do like this. Even pressure, no fancy moves that result in a smeary image. Oh, see, that's kind of cool. It's a little more faint. But yeah, nice. I'm just spreading these around to dry a bit. Okay. Maybe I should try, let me try the poppy. Or why don't I keep my word and let you go and just, sign off? That's another possibility too, isn't it? Okay, I'll do the poppy and then I'll say goodbye. Oh, look at this. What could possibly go wrong with that? Wipe. Okay. So I'm going to use this block again. Or no, why don't I just change things up a bit and try Do you feel like? Fuchsia? Oh, maybe mulberry. Wouldn't that be nice for a poppy? And I'm using archival ink, or as you saw there, cracked open that Reflections multi-surface ink. Now, I guess if I would have added some pigment to the gesso, then vintage gold might be nice. But right now, I just don't think it would. There wouldn't be enough contrast. Now, this will obviously only be a partial that will fit on here. But poppies are so identifiable. I cannot believe that in a few days, well, of course, I don't know when I do know when you'll be seeing this. You'll be seeing this in the beginning of May. But when I upload it, it's still going to be the end of April. So I was about, this might look kind of goofy. Let's just punch this one out and see. Might be one of those where a person needs another element on it to sort of have it make sense. Well, I guess that's not too bad. Anyway, what I'm trying to spit out here is that I cannot believe that it's almost May. Like, where did the first 4 months go? I did notice that we finally got some warmer weather, and the bulbs that I planted in fall are poking through the ground. So I planted orange tulips and purple allium, which I think I said the other day, part of the onion family. Really nice globe, purple globe kind of a flower head on it. And I think that's going to look really good together. We have the color of our metal roof and the color of our doors is called Copper Penny. So obviously that is going to, I think, be pretty nice together. I had some orange flowers last year. It looked good. Anyway, okay, I promised that I would stop here. So you go and do your thing, and I will continue to do my thing. And one of these days, well, not one of these days, tomorrow, I'll be back here, and I certainly hope you'll be back here just to see what's next. I don't know if it's tomorrow or coming soon, but I do want to do a video with ribbon. So if you have as much ribbon kicking around your place as I do around mine, hopefully you'll tune in for that. Well, I hope you tune in for all of them, but anyway, just saying, there's a ribbon thing coming. So thanks, guys. If you enjoy the content, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please like and comment and all that jazz. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.